Hello everyone! We are today in a new show of ESH News here in Israel, and we are welcoming everybody to join us to this new occasion that we have over here, this new show. We're going to discuss, I guess, different topics and related to Flat Earth and related to Israel. And with me I have my co-host of this show, Mr. John Lockland. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you, Nir.
Hello.
Both of us we manage the Facebook group ESH News Flat Earth Israel
Mm-hmm.
on Facebook, and I'm less visible than you. I'm using an alias name, but
Mm-hmm.
that's for the moment the position that I chose to take, and
That's
John
okay,
managed.
John. We got an inner beauty inside us, although we look like like logos. Anyway,
Yeah.
I'm sure it's been a real big pleasure to have this show with you, and of course, what we do on the everyday life when we manage the ESH News Flat Earth Israel group. Um, um, from my perspective at least, I can see you as a person who's like reaching all kinds of like unique information regarding flat Earth, information which is related to Israel, things that you bring up to people, all kinds of like important information from the day. How do you like see your role as the manager of the group? What are you trying to do with that position?
Well, my awakening was started like pretty relatively early, 2015.
Mm-hmm.
It was like beginning of 2016. Sorry. And my goal here with this group, which is relatively new, and it's not the biggest group in Israel. It's only right now 292 members. There are other groups out there, Israelis. So there are thousands of Israelis. Yes. So first of all, our message here is that yes, there are thousands of Israelis, and there are flat earthers in Israel.
Yeah.
And this is something that anybody out there who thought otherwise, no, it's like everybody anywhere else.
Yeah.
Sorry. And so my perspective here is to share information, put posts here, and get the people responding to the posts, and have people posting here on this group, and have a discussion if necessary about the post, about each individual post. And I think we're sharing here a lot of the current things that are going on flat Earth
Mm-hmm.
right now. And sometimes these are funny memes, like this one, like the flat Earth is laughing and the others are crying. NASA and SpaceX,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah,
Yeah,
that's
and I believe that our goal kind of like I know got enriched by when we got into this Facebook group and try to get more like original content to be in this group. This is kind of like our platform to show our creations at ESH News. Also, this program will probably be published over there, and. So it's a pleasure to I know be in contact with you and to work on this
likewise.
on this Facebook page, and I'm quite sure that throughout this show that we're doing, people will get to know also your character better and your thoughts and things like and your special interest in flat Earth, different fields that you are more like involved with. Yeah, we're gonna start this show. It's gonna be nice. We want to apologize ahead to our viewers that we are actually pretty much of stupid Israelis and we don't really know English that good. Bear with us.
Oh,
Bear with
okay.
us and be, I don't know, patient. For our English, we will try to do our best. But this is all for communicating with you guys and trying to bring you, I think, the latest news and things and I know messages from Israel. I think this is the key word because I personally think, and correct me if I'm wrong, that Israel has got kind of like a special place with flat Earth. This is at least my personal feeling, because I think that this land is pretty unique and holy, and all kinds of things can erupt from over here if we're talking about flat Earth, because this is country of the land of the Bible, all of that. Yeah.
Holy or not holy, it's a matter of faith. I don't. I consider flat Earth as a scientific matter, and here in Israel, it's special because the moment it hits the society or hits people, the fact that Israel is always under a magnifying glass,
Yeah.
and everything that happens here is reported all over the news across the world. If flat Earth will be a big thing here, it's not big, even though there are thousands of Israelis who are flat Earthers already. But if it will be bigger and it's going to hit the mainstream here in Israel, and what I'm showing, by the way, here on my screen is a formal page of a party that ran in the last elections, and they are talking about flat Earth on their page. This is just unbelievable. I mean, this is the formal page of Feiglin, who ran for elections here in Israel.
Yeah.
So if they have a flat Earth page here, okay, maybe I'm at least a bit of diverging from what I was what I wanted to say.
Yeah.
But anyway, this is a.
You're showing over there's a big interest like in all fields of life in Israel. We also like been in the media, all kinds of television shows and radio shows, and we're getting like articles, and we're getting into politics as well, as you can show us. And so this is like our motive, I guess, to try to expose all the flat Earth activity over here in Israel. And for that as well, we brought another guest to our show, and we want to say hello and good evening to Marcus Franco. Are you with us?
Good evening to everyone.
Hey.
Nice to be with you, brothers.
Yes.
Hey, Marcos.
So yes, it's a great pleasure to have Marcus Franco over here. He's one of the first Israeli flat earthers that actually has his own media, own YouTube channel that you can now see it, and he's like very famous in his outreach and vocal persona, and he usually likes to yell at the car and stuff. And I personally like adore his way of communication and media. I think is that is also both hilarious and smart. And I think I will stop speaking about you and let you introduce yourself, Mr. Franco.
I'm now trying to make a culmination of my videos, trying to summarize the whole experience we had since 2015. Since Eric Dubé and Mark Sargent and Matt Boylan came out and broke up out the flat Earth. And today we are, when I started in 2015, it was nothing, it was a desert. No one heard about it. And today we are here talking to in Israel. This is a miracle. I knew it's going on in the world. That's why I heard about it. But in Israel, we made a great progress in the last year, and meteoric progress
Yes.
we made. And here we are talking about our news.
Yeah.
And over 500 subscribers, 523 to this moment, and that's very, very nice for
It's
Flat
incredible.
Earth. Yeah, and very, very interesting things that you say over there. I enjoy what Nir has said, and always whenever you have a post, I'm putting it on the group. The last one that I
Thanks, John.
Sure. Yeah, that's the one. And so it really, it was really a voyage. You really started, and you were under my radar when I was exploring Flat Earth, and I was like also reluctant or a bit afraid to talk about this subject. I didn't know that there are other Israelis out there that are actually flat earthers. It was like I was doing it like, okay, I was going to Jeranism, I was going to Mark Sargent and all the other YouTube channels to get the updates, like Globebusters and other good channels over there. And I didn't know that you exist until this year, actually.
Yeah.
So it's and then wow, and then it was a big wow when I discovered you.
Tell me, Marcus, I want to know just your personal feeling. You're like describing that once you started with it, there was nothing over here regarding Flat Earth, and now you're telling us like after 1 year or two, we got like a huge progress. How to don't describe me this progress. Tell me what you're feeling. Tell me what you're feeling about it. Okay, what's your inner feel about it?
I began filming in the car because I didn't have with whom to talk to.
Yeah.
This subject is very taboo.
Mm-hmm.
So I decided to my understandings to put on camera in my car because I couldn't speak with no one. Everyone would say I'm stupid, I don't know physics, I don't know that. But inside me, I knew what I knew because I went to the sea with my phone and binoculars. And that's when the globe died for me.
Okay.
It's very simple.
And nowadays, like you feel, do you feel
nowadays,
some kind of satisfaction, some kind of like I don't know, a feeling that you were right all along or something like that?
In 2017, the first page of Flat Earth in Israel started. I think it's Flat Earth Israel too, the same name. And then I got together with Guy Maas, the first person who made an website. The first Israeli website about the flat Earth. So these two things, it's like was a sign for me. Something is going on, and I'm not talking only to my video camera inside the car. And that's when we started to mingle in the Facebook. Like Guy Maas and Guy Tal, if you know, and we started running some meetings. And Matan Koren, if you know, made some lectures in Tel Aviv and in the north of Israel. And
no, it seemed to be cut off. John? Yeah.
And we all together rose up with you, Neil.
Oh, thanks.
And John with the pages, and that's where we are. That's where we are in the pinnacle of our evolution.
I don't know. It's kind of like feeling the middle of the way for me, or something, or just the start of the way for me personally.
Let me just. you mentioned Matan Gordish, so let me just briefly show who is this guy, and he has currently on YouTube in Hebrew a series of 17 chapters that explain the flat Earth from the very basics, and he progresses from chapter 1 to chapter 17, and currently he's also working on the continuation of this series. And of course, we all know him very well. He's a personal friend of all of us, and he's very eloquent in the way he presents things and explains things. It's very sharp, and even the Israeli media was captured by his charms, and he was in a few TV interviews and radio interviews, and I mean more than a few.
Mm-hmm.
So this is Matan Gordish, and he also has a YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Okay. I think that this is pretty much good for our introduction of this show, and we're gonna hear from I guess all kinds of other Israeli flat earthers that we're gonna introduce throughout the show. And I think that we're gonna get started with our news and everything. Okay, so stay tuned and we'll be right back. Okay. So guys, we're back, and I guess we're gonna start talking about our first topic for today. And here, John, you're showing us this. This is a Facebook page or a website. This is a website of ISA. ISA is.
This is the Facebook page of ISA.
ISA
is Space Agency.
Yeah, Israel Space Agency. Okay, we got a lot to be proud of in our good guys that provide us space pictures.
I'm sorry to say that in this case, I'm not so proud of it as an Israeli. It's a disgrace for my intelligence and for my country.
Okay,
it's really a disgrace.
Hold your feelings for a second. Hold your feelings, John. Your feelings has a lot of have their own place and respect. But let's talk a little bit about what they're doing, these guys, and what actually happened this week. I guess previous week that they published this new contest, right? Or this new thing over here.
Yeah.
So explain us, John, what happened over here.
So on October 28th, 9 p.m. in the evening, they posted this post, and they said, let's choose a name for another planet, and it's going to be the first Israeli planet.
Yeah, you know what they John, you know why they posted it on 9 p.m., right? Because they need to have the dark and stars, so they can show a true picture, authentic picture of this time.
So if I click this picture and I actually go into the post here, this is the actual website. Okay, so this is their website.
Yeah, we can see the firmament over here, right? The block.
Actually, yeah, wow. It's actually
we found it. We found the firmament.
Yeah.
The barrier where the vacuum doesn't. This is just of course
Ichsa.
So this show is for flat earthers, and flat earthers know that we are all cynical about it. It's all a big hoax, and of course there's no such barrier. But again, this is the official website, all CGI that you see here, and and they're asking for you to put your name, put your email address, put your city, put whatever, put the suggested name to the planet, and submit. And on the Facebook page.
Yeah. First of all, the Israeli flag on the Mars or whatever planet it is. Get back to the picture again. The looks so authentic with this moon over here and the waving flag and these pointy mountains, whatever. Everything looks perfect. Lord of the Rings, you know.
Very, very wild, very wild. I would.
Very earthly,
Yeah.
earthly.
Actually, I don't know if I would like to live there. It's kind of, I don't know. It's kind of too like Dracula for my taste. I don't know. But anyway,
So you have to pick a name, right? They discovered a new star, and what us as loyal citizens of this state need to do in order to be a good ones.
right.
What do we need to do?
And I see some comments of flat earthers also here on this thing.
Yeah.
And
oh, here's me. I can see that.
Yeah, there you are. Just give you a like here.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I have a name that I can suggest.
But John, please explain first. What did they ask us to do? They say that they discovered the star. Something like where is this star? It's something like a few thousand light years away, or something like that.
Millions.
It's you know,
millions and billions.
Yeah, with billions. But technically, it's not a star; it's a planet that they supposedly found. But I don't know. They don't give a lot of details about what they found. But all this, you know,
it's a publicity stunt. It's a bullshit stunt.
Yeah,
it's very
yes,
simple.
pretty much.
We have to be more serious about this. This is washing the heads of people and little kids.
Yeah,
that we have some other places to go to when we are fucking here. Sorry about the language.
No, language
here,
is good.
We are here on Earth. This is preposterous.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and the worst thing is that this is taxpayer money. We pay the taxes to finance.
Of course,
Yes.
of course.
You see the symbol of the country upstairs, the Ministry of Technology, Space, whatever, and it is totally funded by our tax money, of course. Now, get this: they're saying that this
the black hole.
Yeah,
the black hole.
No, this star.
Black.
This star is called HATP 999. It is located 1,585 light years away from us.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's only that we can get a bus tomorrow or travel there or something, I guess. And I don't know, where are they getting this number? Marcus, tell me, where are they getting this number, and what is this number supposed to mean? Like, you know,
the greatest the number is, the better for washing our brains. The better. We don't understand this kind of distances.
Yeah.
So you think this 1,000, it's like we have to send in a spaceship a generation of people, like in the movies, for hundreds of years to get there.
Yeah.
So you are selling a frigidaire for an Eskimo. It's impossible. It's amazing.
Yeah.
How they can lie freely and we would believe everything. It's impossible. They don't know. If the number is great, that's good. That's how.
No, but explain to me, what is the light here? It's the distance that the light is doing in 1 year.
In 1 year. Yeah. Okay.
And the speed of light is 360,000, right? And the
next.
Yes, Marcus.
The next star is 4 years light speed from us. Alpha Centauri. Okay. This one is like 10 times farther or more.
No, it's it's like a 400 times more distance. Yeah.
Tens of years flying a generation, 2 generations, 3 generations. This is stupid. This is stupid. What are we doing? What are they saying? We give a name to a star. So give a name to the light bulb in your room. Give a name. You don't. It is, and where it is.
Yeah, and I think that part of the manipulation is to join the people into this fun, into this experience. Okay, let's make it like a social, or maybe like considering to the citizen the kind of like experience that they will.
Yeah. Right, and they're, actually they're very active. They have somebody on the payroll over there on Facebook answering all these people. he's writing their responses, and we are paying his salary. And this is and he's, you know, what he writes here. This is
the official authority to give names to heavenly bodies and
exo worlds.
And what?
Yeah,
and
exo worlds.
Yeah, no, do an angry one,
an angry one. An angry one.
Angry one. Yeah, I'm pissed off right now. Yeah. Okay. Good. All right. Now.
I'm also pissed off, actually.
So anyway, what kind of names people gave over here, John?
A lot of you know, support.
Oh, they have Noach Arcs. Okay.
Gaziel, Zion, Noach's Ark. You know, all these.
D territory I see over here. D territory is good.
Moria.
Why Moria? What is Moria?
I don't know. This person here, Marav, she suggested it.
It's kind of like reminding the process that they chose the name of Bereshit, right? They ask all kinds of like celebrities and stuff.
So we need to understand one thing. We need to understand that it's like in the United States, where the flat Earth movement is growing, and there are flat earthers. It's like, I would say a lot, if not, I don't know exactly the number in the United States, but also there are a lot of globe hits. Mm-hmm. And also we have globe hits here in Israel, and they're still hypnotized, they're still zombies, they're still unawoken, and they're not realizing what the true shape of the earth is. So they're here participating in this, and for them, like we were all fascinated by space in the past. I myself was, for like about 40 years of my life, was fascinated by space and Star Wars and Star Trek and all this. So this is very fascinating, and it fascinates a lot of Israelis. But we are, as flat earthers who are Israelis, we can look at it from the perspective of okay, we wonder how many of them will wake up eventually and when.
I know the thing is, John, that I think that most of the Israelis have this kind of like approach to technology. This whole country is kind of like to present itself as the high-tech country, and I think that if you like, the manipulation is even bigger when you approach to this kind of people, and you're telling them, okay, let's join up together in some scientific technology thing, and you'll be into it. And the guy, the regular Israeli guy, is telling to himself, okay, I'm a superstar technology dude. I will choose a name for the new star. I think this is part of the manipulation that they're using in some way. That they're taking advantage of the scientific, appeal of Israelis or something like that. Do you agree with me?
Yes, and I think that like NASA and like ESA and like other organizations, they are in the panic mode because they are realizing that a lot of people in Israel also are waking up. So they are hyping up space like they're doing all over the world. They're doing it here also. And by the way, just a side note, we have chemtrails in Israel also, but we're not going to talk about it now. I'm just saying that here in Israel, we have sort of the same stuff that is going on in the West, and it's, for those of us who are awake and aware to this thing, it's like, but it shows that they are in panic mode. For me, I mean, that's my opinion.
Okay, Marcus, any kind of like remarks about it? Did you choose a name already, Marcus?
No, I won't choose a name for bullshit. about the chemtrails.
Yes.
The chemtrails. These are army. This is how they say it. Geoengineering.
Yeah.
This is all the armies of the world are very coordinated. Of making the change of the climate.
Yeah.
They are very coordinated. It's all around the world. We all know it. This is not a secret. We can look up at the sky. It's very simple for us to do it and see the planes doing the clouds. And these clouds are making us very sick, and they change the seasons.
Mm-hmm.
That's the climate change.
Yeah.
the real climate change, not the fake climate change that the fake news all around.
That's why we are sweating over here in the beginning of November, right?
Yeah. We are. I'm here like in the summer, yeah, and we should be with rain.
Yeah.
No rain, but you have the chemtrails now for weeks, now for months since it came back in Israel. In the summer, they don't make or it's less chemtrails.
Yeah.
But in the I have a record of this. Of these variations in the chemtrails.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's very important that it's the same. It's in the atmosphere. It's connected to the flat Earth, and it's connected to the fake bullshit of the climate change. This is the climate change. They are doing it on the planes, very together as the armies of the world. So when like NASA and IHSA and ESA and SHMAXA, this bullshit, they are together lying to the people.
Yeah. The only thing that kind of I'm asking sometimes myself, so if they're doing it for everybody, including, they live here, daily, some of them are here also, so they're spraying on themselves. So it's kind of a question. But and the pilots, do they have the morality to do it?
You want the answer, John?
Yeah. Go ahead.
So let me tell you that if you are a pilot and you have a family and you are fumigating the skies, be sure that to get well of the bullshit you how do you say noshem?
Breathing.
Breathing.
You breathe the bullshit you breathe. They will have in their own. They will have the money to make the treatments to their kids and everything. You don't. That's the difference. I tried to make a metal investigation to my body. I don't know how to say it. And it's thousands of shekels only to get the results from Germany. You understand? And then if you have problems with the metals in your body, then you have to go to hospital to see what to do about it, another thousands of shekels. This is not for the small people. But the pilot in the army, it's no problem. You understand what I mean? That's your answer, John.
Okay.
Yeah, fair answer.
Okay, guys, I think we got into chemtrails from talking about the Israeli planet, but it's also, of course, important. Anyway, about this planet, I gave the name Fake Kochav. Kochav in Hebrew, it's a star, okay? And it's kind of like connects together. Fake Kochav. Fake Kochav. This is like my personal name. John, do you have any suggestion that you put in?
Well, I put in Palestine, but just as a joke.
It's kind of like non-existent, like the Palestinian people or something like that.
Well, since this is the first show, we don't want
let's leave politics aside.
Let's put that aside. I saw fake Kochav, like fake planet. That's a nice one. And other people should give you the like for this.
I don't know. Only one liked it, so I guess. I should spam this post over here with all kinds of like different names. Someone will like some of my name. I don't know. Hopefully. All right, guys. So I guess we're done talking about fake stars, fake Israeli stars. I know that surely.
Planets.
What? Planets? All right. Okay, good. So we'll get down to the next segment. Stay tuned. Okay, guys, we got back, and as you can see, the headline on the top, it's written "Back to Flat Earth." This is actually a YouTube channel that is belonging to one of our colleagues, Mr. Avishai Sapir, is publishing over there very nice flat Earth videos. He's really known to be like a great editor, a great narrator, and he kind of like doing all of his work with high professional level that to get a lot of enjoyment with just seeing his creations and his creativity, and we do appreciate him a lot. And he actually, the recent news or recent movie that he published on his YouTube is called the Dead Sea. It's called Where's the Curvature? Where's the Curvature? And the first part of it is the Dead Sea experiment. For I guess our viewers from overseas, the whole thing of this I don't know, experience of being in the Dead Sea and doing flat Earth experiments, I guess it's very appealing because the Dead Sea has very unique characteristics and
unique properties.
Sorry.
Unique properties.
Yeah.
By the way, Nir, can you share your screen to show that?
Yeah. I'm beginning showing. Showing the video over here, and this movie is kind of like a documentary, the first Israeli documentary that revolves around flat Earth, and it's kind of like explaining our own the whole process of this experiment. Very intriguing.
No, wait a second. I have to say, it's not just a documentary.
Mm-hmm.
It's the first ever Israeli documentary on flat Earth. The first ever serious documentary.
Very important.
And really, it's part one. There's going to be part two, and they have already shot part two, and really, it's really a milestone for, I think, for the creation and the activism.
Yeah, I'm showing now in the movie. They're showing the views of the Dead Sea, and over here it's a beautiful sight. The thing is that you can notice in this movie. The first thing you notice that they came over there in kind of like a bad day to do this experiment. This is the upsetting part about it. You can see that the weather conditions over there, it was a day in February where there is still like rains or all kinds of like unclear weather, but they got over there and they are telling the video in the beginning that they got into the Dead Sea. The visibility wasn't that great and all of that, but they already arrived over here, so it's they started to do this work. And you talked earlier, Marcus, about Guy Mass that we're seeing him over here. I think that he has like a great segment that he's talking about. I think no, we don't see it right now, but he's talking about all kinds of like models, mathematical models that kind of like goes right on numbers on page, and once you get to a place like the Dead Sea, like we see over here, the reality is totally different. What you got to say about that, Marcus? Is this why it's important to do like experiments like that, to get familiar with the real life or something like that? What do you reckon?
We gotta go beyond the numbers.
Yeah.
That's the thing. We were booked 2 weeks before, but it was raining.
Yeah.
I had to be. We were booked 2 weeks before. 2 weeks after, I couldn't get there.
Yeah.
So I wasn't in the movie, but I was with Avishai in the telephone all the time in my work, and the big problem in the Dead Sea is the density.
Mm-hmm.
It's 400 meters below sea level, the density of the air is it's very dense, the air.
Yeah,
So
and also
the
like I
mirage,
think it's because of the salty water, I believe, right? There's
yeah, and the salty water,
all the salts comes out of the water and they kind of like
yeah,
stay inside
the
the air.
the
Humanity.
fuming water of the salt, and it's like the mirage is very large. You know,
Yeah.
the vanishing point,
Mhm.
what we call the vanishing point, we don't call the vanishing point, is very large there in the. So it's very hard to tell that what they try to prove. So they don't prove 100%. We didn't prove 100% that
There's no curvature.
the ball, there's no curvature, but it's still flat. You know what I mean?
I guess,
It was
and now in this video we're showing the experiment that they actually wanted to do. We're showing there's like a plain ground which goes out something like 5 kilometers into the Dead Sea, and this is a place that they picked to be like to do the experiment because it's obviously flat. This whole place which is near to the shoreline, okay, but it kind of like runs into the Dead Sea. Have you been there in this spot that they filmed?
Yeah. They shot. I wasn't there, but I knew where they are going. They are showing there.
Yeah.
So you see the light from the other side, 5 kilometers. In you know, it's like if they see the light, that's over. But anyway, the problem was because all the globe had say refraction and refraction and refraction. So you know, they have to have thousands of excuses to make it a ball. You know, the vanishing point and the horizontal the horizon.
Yeah.
So we weren't sure. It's like it wasn't definitive. We will be definitive in the Kinneret the next time, very soon.
Okay, explain a little bit about the experiment themselves. I'm showing right now they stuck like 4 posts, 1 kilometer, one from each other. Okay, and what did they try to prove over there? What did they try to show over there in this with this post that they stuck in the ground? Can you tell us, or maybe John?
They had these color. I don't see your screen, by the way.
Yeah, don't worry. Just from what you remember about this movie.
Yeah, so they had these stands with colorful plaques on them, and they placed each at a particular distance from the camera in order to determine the distance to each, and if it was possible to see the top of a particular one, then it would mean something about the curve, and generally, more or less, that's what I got from it. And the particulars of the experiment are it's basically a curvature, a standard curvature test, and I would agree that this is not the best environment to do this test, and because the same thing happened, I think, to people in the United States where they went to a place
salt
the
lake or
salt,
something. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. It's the same thing. It's exactly the same thing here. So that's why they were not so successful. I mean, the results were inconclusive. It's not that they were against a flat Earth, no. But I definitely am looking forward to
seeing the next part.
What's going to be in the Kinneret. But with that said, I'm not so sure that testing it, even though water are level, and that's a fact, making the test on water because of the haze and things that we have on water, I'm not sure if it's the best thing to do. Maybe you just do it on flat ground. But I'm not an expert in this, so it could be working differently on the key
Marcus,
narrative. On the north.
what can you tell us about this experiment that they wanted to do over there? Do you have like a clue?
They wanted to prove that there is no curvature.
All right.
That's the main goal in the experiment.
Okay.
They put the little how do you say it?
The posts. Yeah, the flags, the posts.
The flags, the posts. They put it very straight on the line of the water. Everything was level.
Yeah.
So it should be a downfall if it's a curve.
Yeah.
But we didn't see the flag.
Yeah. No, you saw like the flags. You probably you see them right now. Like on the video, they kind of like distant away with the car over there. They waited with the camera on the starting point of where the car drove. This hilarious guy over here that was saying to the camera. There's no curvature, you cacot, you shitheads. There's no curvature. Now, and over there they drove away and they started to check if they're seeing the flags in all those distances with the Nikon P1900, and as you said, the results were inconclusive, but they saw like 3 flags. Okay, they saw 3 flags that were side with each other, and I think this was kind of like I don't know if you prove, but this was kind of like a semi-successful experiment. So let's say
it's like not enough for globeheads.
Not enough for globeheads.
Lot of fantasy they need.
Yeah.
They need
Well, nothing is enough for globeheads. That's the thing.
But we will never be right. Never.
Yeah. But if you're a glober, we were all globers. Let's not forget that. And let's not forget, even Jeranism told
good
us.
Good ones.
Yeah. Good ones. I heard David Weiss mentioning it in one of the programs. That Jeranism told his wife, "Hey, you're crazy. What are you talking about, flat Earth?" And now, and of course, everything is different, and we know what Jeranism say about the world. And so, and it was so. To summarize, from my perspective on this documentary, I think it was a great production and experiment and a real attempt to do something. To show to the Israeli audience what tests are we doing, and you can put the link. I think Nir, you can put the link to the video when we post this on YouTube. Also on our Facebook group, we can also repost the link to the documentary, the first part, and then we're gonna see the.
Yeah, I'm showing right now on the screen over here the results where they're showing the. 4 posts that they kind of like got in the camera, and they're showing like a straight line that kind of like connects these points, those markers that they put on the post, those purple ones. So over here in this video right now is like explaining that what is the post and where are the people that were there. And because of the visibility, you can only see with this camera about 3-4 kilometers ahead. Okay, ahead of him, and this is this part of the experiment. Afterwards, they started to do to explain about the mirage effect, and over here they're showing like they put one car, okay, with the lights on one side of the Dead Sea, and they went to the other side, which 5 kilometers between each other. And they're just testing if the guy is like if they're showing the light of the car over there, if it's like blinking. And now he explains that where the car is located. It was located 3 meters above the water, and is trying to calculate it if it's like making sense with the curvature and everything. And this is also like a very nice experiment. Although he also encountered the mirage over here. kind of like the car flashlight kind of like reflected in the water. Okay, and this is like the mirage effect. And after that, they explained it fully well with another video they made with this dog and this faraway bank over there, the shore which is far away, and he also like explains the whole phenomena of the mirage, and he also like shows it on the kayaks. They had this kayaks experiment over there.
Was it interesting, the kayaks?
Yeah. Explain a little bit about this, what they're trying to do over there with the kayaks, Marcus.
They're trying to see when they start to disappear, and then that's when they discovered the big vanishing point. So it was impossible to be
decisive.
Yeah.
All right. Good. Anyway, so this is the video. Yes, John.
I just wish we could have Avishai on the show. I understood that he couldn't make it, but it would be great. But it's a great production that he did, and well done. And
yeah, I think that the main message out of this video is, as we said, less the conclusion, less the flat Earth proof, but more of like to show, I don't know, people that are like serious people over here in Israel, that they can produce this kind of video and be creative about it. And this is, I think, just the beginning of the way, as I said before. And I believe that we are expected with much more of like quality material from all of these guys, and from myself as well. Well done, and continue on the good work. Alright guys, so we are back again, and this time we're gonna open our next segment. It's gonna be like a permanent segment in our show. We're gonna talk about our favorite movie of this week, and we should like get an interest for that, John, with all kinds of like music or soundbite or something like that. Yeah. And we're gonna talk. We actually had an agreement between us about what is our favorite movie of this week, and so do present this to us. I personally saw that yesterday and I was amazed from that one, and yeah, share with us, John.
Yes, first of all, I second what you said. I was also amazed by this one. This one hit a nerve also in Israel. And it's really a great work. Of course, the credit goes to a guy named Mark Knight, and he has this channel, Wiki, and of course we all know it. And he managed to obtain an interview with one of the top astrophysicists in the world. That she's giving lectures on TED, as you can see in the video. It's a 1-hour video, more or less. And that's her. I forgot her name. Do you remember her name?
No. I remember she was born in Russia. She was born in Russia.
Yeah, she was born in, exactly. And he had to he had to kind of say that he's coming from Oxford, and he wants to ask her questions as a student, and he had to kind of do some exchanges of emails to get there because it wasn't easy. And I think that's okay, because because the way he did it is perfectly fine as far as I saw it. He just presented her with questions, and she was answering him, and as things went along in that interview, she was like she got into a situation where she could not answer anymore, give reasonable answers, and she kind of got stuck And in the end, of course, there's a lot of
like memes over there and
yeah. Some people say it's like I mean, it got some criticism about this, but I think if you listen to the video, I think it's a great questions and answer. He was just asking her about different questions that relate to the heliocentric model and the Earth and whatever they astrophysicists are all talking about all the time. And she just in the end it was like
she blew up the interview. Watch it, blew up the interview, and she said that she doesn't want to continue, and she asked him to erase it or something like that, right?
Yes, and well, he published it, and Mark, if you can hear me out there, I think you did a great job here, because what you did here, you simply showed in this interview that they don't have the answers. All they have is just a bunch of theoretic and nice imaginary statements that have no connection to reality. And when you actually come and you actually ask them questions, that this is the astrophysicist.
Yes.
The answers that they give eventually collapse into nothing. And he started right away with asking with the barrier from with the atmosphere. The first question was the barrier of like the supposed where does space begin, and how come the atmosphere is not sucked into space?
No, she like asking about is the molecules that are like attached to the Earth, are they like spinning alongside with them, and which molecules do not? Okay, which molecules they just spray into space and whatever. And yes, I personally think that the greatest accomplishment with this video, I look at it from an interviewer point of view, and kind of like what I noticed is that throughout this whole video, he hardly even gives any kind of like claims of his own. Okay, he doesn't say any kind of like he brings all kind of like researchers and all kinds of like things that he encountered, that he brings out as questions to get like a reaction for that. But besides that, he only focuses on questions, and with those questions, he kind of like setting the trap for this astrophysicist. It's like he doesn't need to claim and to have like strong saying. Okay, his questions are just sufficient enough to get the scientific person to just think about, okay, what am I saying? Am I saying something correctly? Am I saying that? And I think this is his greatest accomplishment, to get them into the embarrassment out of right clear questions, not more than that.
Yeah, and he did it very politely, very nicely, very professionally.
Yeah.
And he did it slowly. He did it in a way that kept her going for an hour.
Yeah.
He didn't, He didn't do it in a way that would like blow his cover like after 15 minutes.
Yeah.
But for a full hour, and that's a very huge achievement. And in the end, it was like hilarious. But it's a must listen, because here in the video that he posted, we don't see actually we just hear the interview with her, and we see all these things that are connected to the answers that she's giving him. But it's a brilliant interview. I think he was respectful. I think he was professional, and he just got her to a point that she couldn't answer anymore. And that's what made our week. I mean, my week and your week, and it's really a great piece of work here.
Okay.
And
highly recommended. Now,
highly.
Now, John and Marcus, you didn't see this video, but I guess after this recommendation, you go
Yes,
fast and watch him tonight.
First thing,
Yes, Marcus?
Yeah.
I say that this is first thing I do after the show.
Yeah, okay, good. I want to, in this segment, also to talk about another thing which is related. John, you brought this up, I guess, this week, or it was like a month ago, about Alex Jones, okay? That he...
Oh, yes.
Yes, about Alex Jones, that you worked me down. He also joined the Flat Earth movement. It's not really correct, right? But you can feel he's on the way over there. It's like reaching there in a minute or two or something like that. Am I correct?
Right, yeah. Now, for me, just to give some background, I started with Alex Jones in 2009, and he was actually the one who opened my mind to 9/11.
Yeah.
And at first, I was reluctant to, but he's the one who started to awake to make me become aware of things that are going in this world, and of course today. Until recently, that in which there was a recent point where Facebook and Twitter and YouTube shut down Alex Jones, so he just now only continuing on his website. But Alex Jones had like 2 million subscribers on YouTube, and finally, in one of the shows, David Weiss was interviewed, and then InfoWars released this video about the flat Earth, and this is revolutionary. I think this is really revolutionary. Even though people say, yeah, Alex Jones is a shill, but Alex Jones is like a controlled opposition. I don't. I'm just looking at the content and judging by that.
Is Alex Jones considered mainstream in some ways? It's kind of like it's not considered mainstream because of his opinions, but these I know the numbers of his subscribers and the followers and whatever means that he is reaching a big crowd. Am I correct?
In the conspiracy world, you could say some say that. I don't subscribe to that. I don't know. But I do know this. That can you all hear me?
Yeah.
Still? Yeah. Great. So I do know this. I do know that Alex Jones was interviewing Donald Trump twice. Once before he got elected, and then the next time after he got elected. So if Alex Jones is talking about flat Earth, Donald Trump is going to hear about this.
Mm-hmm.
And this is really big because the exposure that this is giving to the flat Earth, just like a wise man said, there's no bad advertisement for this thing.
Yeah.
This is really big, and so whether or not we agree with Alex Jones on everything, whether you believe Alex Jones regarding everything, when I see this, I see a very, very a big paradigm shift happening right in this very moment, and this is going to grow for sure.
Yeah, I myself, I'm also like a big fan of Alex Jones. I used to follow him mainly for the time of the elections of the 2016 elections when he was pretty much after Hillary Clinton at the time. With all his explosions, and also like in my perspective, I like to watch him because you can see lots of like a truthful approach, which is kind of like different from of course all the mainstream news channels in the United States, all this CNN, NBC, all the things that Donald Trump hates, and besides like Fox News, which is also pretty much like it's mainstream, but it has its own opinion. He put on a different like perspective, which is very truthful in my perspective, and he may not have the most aesthetic approach to that. Okay, but still he brought truth, and he brought and I saw like lots of activism on his side. There were like all kinds of reporters of him during rallies. And again, regardless of the fact of who do you support in the United States or whatever politically, I think that he did a good job of just exposing the truth, which is very, it's very, I think that you need in those days. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Marcus, do you know his activity, and do you have opinion on that, Marcus?
We have to thank Eddie Bravo.
Yeah.
To bringing him,
right.
Alex Jones, well into the swamp, our swamp.
Mm-hmm. Well, to the whole, it's the rabbit hole. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. So it's a good sign, but the people who run our world, they are ready, they are patient, they know what's happening. We have to be smart. Alex Jones, I don't trust him, so I don't know if he's genuine or not. I know that Eddie Bravo is doing it, and he is genuine, or at least he sounds like he's genuine. So
he kind of like reminded me of you, Marcus, with his approach, Eddie Bravo.
Yes, the truth won't be changed because you believe fantasies.
Yeah,
that's what. And so I don't know what fantasy Alex Jones is about.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? He's in a fantasy too.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that he's doing it for the right reasons. Maybe he is an opposition, a controlled opposition. We don't know. I hope this is a good sign anyway.
Yeah.
Because we are evolving. We are evolving in the real evolution of things.
Mm-hmm.
We are evolving. So that's good. From the other side, it's true that
Oh, there's a Simon.
Yeah, I have a Simons over here. They're gonna arrest me, I think, for publishing, for doing anti-institutional media over here in my apartment. Yes.
We could be held because of this, That's it.
Yeah.
Wait up, Marcus. Next show we're gonna talk about Zionism. This is when the real police is gonna enter this apartment. So.
Yeah.
That's of course not this show, but yeah. Well, regarding Alex Jones, I still to this day remember when I saw his film called The Obama Deception, and I was looking into this. I was watching the film, and I was like amazed by the things that were exposed there, and I was like, and then I started looking into it. So I do. From my personal perspective, I have to thank him for that he awoken me to that. And then it was a gradual process, and then, from different things that you discover, then you progress on, and then you eventually you come to the moon landing, to Apollo. And then once you discover that Apollo was faked, then, like I said, beginning of 2016, I was exposed to the flat Earth thing, and since then, I just became a flat earther, and so anyway, this is a big milestone, I think, and let's see how it goes.
Okay.
From here.
Yeah. I guess so. This is our segment for talking about media abroad and our favorite guys from this week. We will keep on watching them. We got a lot of interesting flat earthers that we can talk about for a few shows, I think. So yeah, we will continue on with our closing segment pretty soon. Thanks. Alright guys, so we're back with our final segment of this first show. By the way, John, we haven't thought of a name yet to this show, right? This is the weekly update of ESH News, I guess.
Right. Well, we could think about a name, or maybe ask
our viewers.
The viewers.
Yeah. Perhaps the viewers will come up with a name for our show over here that we're starting. Will be much appreciated. It will be better from the name of the fake star, of course. But I guess they will pick up a right name. And Marcus, do you have any suggestion to our show's name? Something good, creative, whatever?
Okay. Let me sleep on this.
All right, good. So Marcus and John, I think that it's kind of like time for our viewers to get to know our space Israeli program. And in this show, we're gonna talk about now about Space IL, which is I think over here in the picture that you're showing, it kind of like it's like the original of the picture that I'm showing on the top over here, which is kind of like the selfie that from the Bereshit spacecraft over at the beginning of April. They supposedly launch a rocket to the moon and supposedly reach to the moon, and then the spacecraft crashed. For me personally, this was a very significant event, okay? Because I remember that once I saw that, first of all, I was very anticipating for that. I was already like flat earther at the time, and I told like friends and family. They all like came back to me and told me, haha, now Israel is gonna fly an aircraft to space and you're gonna see that all your flat earth bullshit is just nonsense, and you will realize that there is space and and people can reach to the moon. So I waited. I told everybody that no worries, nothing is gonna happen, and I literally like waited for that to see what's gonna happen over there. And I sat down. It was on Saturday evening, and there was this whole show on the television. And I told myself secretly, okay, Nir, if they will show some kind of pictures, okay, and some kind of like they told that it was landed, and they showed me some kind of like pictures, and everything will be fine, Nir, you will stop believing in flat Earth, okay? I told that to myself. I thought, okay, Nir, it was a nice thing to do for a year or so. Enough of this nonsense. Everybody think you're a moron, and that's it. And I waited. I told myself, let's see if they bring some kind of like. I even hoped for myself personally in my heart. I told myself, okay, I wish it will happen. That it will all be true. Okay, and then I won't say the unexpected happened. Okay, it was just the most expected thing happened. Okay, and the spacecraft just crashed over there. And I told myself, come on, they were so lazy that they couldn't even bring a picture. They were like even fake one, like they will get the people to be that much dumb that they will say that it crashed and that's it, and they finish up the ceremony and they singing the national anthem and that's it.
Yeah, it was just a 1 hour show.
You think we are?
Yeah, and actually, and actually afterwards, like a day afterwards, this was my first action that I told myself, okay, I need to be out with this flat earth thing more than my family and my close friends, and to start publishing posts on Facebook and starting to do the shows and whatever, because this is what was the significant moment for me, that I realized, okay, people in my home country are lying to my face and telling me they're sending all kinds of things into space. They're getting huge amounts of money from the States to do so, and this really pissed me off. Okay, and from that moment I told myself, yeah, I will start being active with flat Earth and trying to show the world or Israel or whatever that people are lying to you in your face. So, was that the same thing happened with you guys?
Yeah, you could say that, and by the way, this fiasco helped waking up some people, because they looked at the pictures and they are so ridiculous. So I mean, these are garbage pictures.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry to say, but these are garbage pictures. All the pictures from the Bereshit, you know.
The one with the
fiasco.
string was the best. Like the thing is that I saw the picture with the string over there. Okay, that they showing. The first time I saw it, okay, it was like the selfie from space, whatever. And the first time I saw it was on Bibi's, on the Prime Minister's Facebook page. He was like got this picture, and he was the first one who published this picture over in his Facebook page. And once I look at it like closely, I can see like the string that holds down the air from there, and I was like, what? It could be so much amateur the people over there were so much amateur to actually show this picture with the string, and the Prime Minister actually published it. The Prime Minister of Israel, and yeah,
I guess. Well, since he is part, I guess prime ministers who are aware of the fakery, they need to cooperate with it because it's, I guess, an agreement between countries to lie about space and everything to their citizenry. And so that's what he did, and he I guess if he wouldn't have cooperated, I don't know, but I'm just saying, this also was
Marco,
a total.
Yeah,
Marcus, you can also chime in.
This is very,
tell me about your feelings,
serious.
Marcus, tell me about your feelings at that point.
This is very serious from my point of view, because Netanyahu, for example, he knows he is lying, and he is with the other organizations of space of the world lying together to all of us, and then they will tell you that we have wars and they are enemies. They are no enemies, they are partners. They are partners. We have to understand it in the flat Earth community worldwide. We are partners. We are excluded. That's what's happening with Bereshit too. You think that Netanyahu doesn't know that this is bullshit?
Of course
he knows. He knows he's lying.
The thing is, Marcus, that any prime minister who would be prime minister of this country would have to lie about it. So it's not necessarily Benjamin Netanyahu or anybody else. Anybody
it's
would.
Beyond him. Who is Netanyahu?
Netanyahu is the point.
Netanyahu is a puppet.
Yeah. So anyway, I just wanted to show this Space IL Facebook page, and they since June this year they put this after the mission failed, and supposedly the little spacecraft with 2019 technology couldn't reach the moon. They put this image here of something engraved on the moon. It's like a chevron or something.
This is like their symbol. This is like the logo of Space IL.
Yeah, but it's kind of strange. It's kind of, and by the way, here we see the stars.
Of course.
Of course, we see the stars here, but
and they have a special spotlight wherever the spacecraft landed, and the spacecraft kind of like accidentally left this mark over there in the moon, which is kind of like similar to the Space IL logo. It's hilarious.
That's the mark of the crash of Bereshit.
Yeah. Make your mark, and when they write that, make your mark. For me, the first connotation is mark of the beast, but I don't know. But it's really strange that they just. And I'm an Israeli. I'm a proud Israeli. Okay, I love my country, but I don't love this part of my country. I don't love the lies and the things that are going on, and it's like Americans are being lied to as well, and other people in other nations are being lied to, and I'm being lied to as well. And when I see this, this is total. Who decided to go and engrave this on the moon? Of course, it's an illustration, but this whole symbol here is.
I think that a few months afterward, they said that they actually found the crashes of Bereshit on the moon. They kind of like located where it's exactly crashed, and they found like the remains of it or something like that. Some other article.
How they did it?
Yeah, how?
How?
I don't know.
That's a question.
This is the exact question. Yeah.
Of course, you don't know.
Yes.
You won't know, and you won't know.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't.
Yes.
Yeah, well, here on the Space Isle page, we can also see a lot of Israelis that are still very proud in their country, and they don't know the truth, and that's
I think
too
that
bad.
the most upsetting thing for me at the end of this whole mission was that it was actually considered successful. Okay, people were very satisfied with the fact that we reached to the moon, and the Israeli spacecraft made such a big accomplishment. Okay, and they were so proud of themselves, but they did nothing. Nothing. Like they just said it was crashed and everything, and all the people, not all the people, but most of the people believed in that, and were very proud of our space industry and the aeronautics industry that kind of cooperated with NASA. And this is another thing about this thing. The whole production of it, the whole mission was a NASA assignment, was a thing that was controlled and monitored by NASA, and the only thing that the people here in Israel got, even in the control room, was pictures from the NASA headquarters. They weren't even connected to the so-called spacecraft or whatever. Marcus, am I correct?
They were connected to the computer outside the room, making drawings in the computer.
Yeah,
that's what they were connected to. You see the photos. It's like a child,
like an Atari animation or something like that from the 80s or something.
Yes. Very, very low. That's how they are discussed of us, and they say they won't understand. They are so stupid. They won't understand. That's how they treat us. You see, and people don't see it, and that's very too bad. People don't see it.
Okay, and kind of like the continuation to that, or some kind of other thing which is kind of related. We got also this week with those pictures that you're showing now, John. This is supposed to be Israel, not upside down. It's from the word thing. But tell us a little bit about this picture, where it came from, and what it does mean.
It was supposedly, of course, taken by one of the female astronauts that were out there in space on the ISS, and I really didn't get that thing with the female astronauts, what they are trying to say.
They had a spacewalk of females only, and it was the first ever only female spacewalk, whatever. And
that's nice. But,
they're trying to pretty much emphasize it a little bit, that it's women, right? That it's it's another agenda that gets over here.
All the agendas together.
Okay.
Yeah. No. Of course, all this gender thing. We want to kind of get into it, but this whole gender thing that's going on. But
120 genders. 120 genders.
No, the thing is that it's kind of you're right. The gender thing is not really related to all this. We have nothing against women, of course. Women are lovely, and I'm sure they can be.
We love them.
We're sure that they can do amazing stuff and everything. And if they were actually astronauts, I believe women can be astronauts as well. But they kind of put in especially this agenda that women now walked into space and put this into another spotlight or something, a special spotlight. Am I correct?
Right. And right. So in any case, this was captured. Her name is Jessica Meyer.
Yeah.
And she took supposedly this picture from space with, lo and behold, with the curvature of the Earth shown.
She bought this picture because she has like a Jewish roots, Jewish heritage, whatever, or she's herself she's Jewish, or.
Yeah, she has some kind of tribute to a father, some kind of she didn't really interest me. What interested me is the picture.
Yeah.
And the picture itself, well, it looks very nice.
Mm-hmm. Put it in large, yeah.
It's very, but yeah, that's the large version but with the curvature and of course, something that the credit is due to a guy named Avinar Hoshen.
Yeah.
He took that picture and he placed it on a real globe. I mean, real globe, like in scale, in the scale that they tell us.
Yeah.
Of the curvature.
Yeah. This is supposed to be the real scale and curvature of the Earth. So if we take the curvature of the Israel picture and put it exactly on the curve of the official curvature, we can see that Israel is much larger here than it's supposed to be. And even if we take this, if you can see my mouse cursor, even if we put the Israel here on, and we will put it here, the same picture here, next to the supposedly real size, it just doesn't match.
Yeah.
So
doesn't make any sense.
Nothing is real.
Yeah, and
of course. Yeah, and of course, this whole image here is
get back to the picture, John. About the picture of Israel. As Israelis, I think that we can notice right instantly all kinds of things that doesn't match over here, right? For instance, my first perception was that the Sea of Galilee is really close by to the Mediterranean shoreline. Okay, and John, you're living in Haifa, which is
You want me to explain it to you? What's happening in this picture?
Yeah, sure, Marcus, go ahead for it. Yeah.
This is a picture of Israel, a flat Israel from above the Sinai Peninsula. Yeah, looking north, and the curvature is the window of the ISS.
Oh, maybe it's a fisheye lens also. It could be a fisheye lens.
Yeah, I think it's very simple because they mock you. It's very simple. It's the window. So you are looking at the flat Earth. That's what they see. Maybe that's true.
I don't think it's true
because with this curvature, the curvature would be the whole Earth, Asia, Europe, and Africa, and that's it. No Pacific Ocean, no America. You know what I mean? It's very little this Earth of Israel with a photo of Israel. It's impossible.
I for myself, I noticed another thing which is peculiar about this picture. You can see like the landscape or the earth or whatever, but I think that if you look from above, especially on the coastline of Israel, it's a very populated place with like buildings and skyscrapers, and it's very metropolitan urban place, and you can hardly see like any gray, okay, on that side. You can see the coastline of the Mediterranean, but without like any structures or roads or something like that. It looks like a country without any like
It looks like Earth.
Yeah, exactly. like you see things on maps in Atlas or something like that. Yeah.
It looks definitely like a painting or a Photoshop, definitely a Photoshop creation. And I don't know which height they claim they took this picture from. I guess the ISS, the height of the ISS, but that's
400 kilometers, I think, or 350.
But usually they don't. In any case, what would the smoking gun here is the curvature. because they are showing us the curvature, and some other news sites have cut this lower part of the picture to hide it. But fortunately, Israel Hayom is showing the curvature. That proves beyond any shadow of a doubt that this is a forgery. And too bad.
Too bad, yeah. We wanted so much picture from space. It's terrible that they couldn't provide that for us. Anyway, yes.
Now, as a flat earther, I can imagine that you can go to a certain height and take a picture of lands and Israel and other lands and have a picture from high above, but of course you will not see any curvature. You'll just see a horizon that rises to your eye level as usual.
Yeah. I remember watching this picture, and I told you I see the Sea of Galilee very close by to the Mediterranean, and you're living in the city of Haifa, John. And I asked you instantly, tell me, John, do you see the Sea of Galilee out of your house window? And you told me no, because you can't see the Sea of Galilee from Haifa. But in this picture, it kind of like looks that you can, you know.
Yeah. Well, it's the whole scale here is distorted, and another thing for the mass population to believe.
Yeah.
And
anyway, so
by the way, flat Earth was also mentioned in a news site, one of the prominent news sites in Israel. Also, it's being discussed. They cannot ignore that this thing is happening also in our country.
Mm-hmm.
And they're putting our late Ilan Ramon astronaut that was supposedly killed in the Challenger disaster.
Supposedly he was killed.
Well,
this is kind of like a mystery for Israel flat earthers, right?
Marcus, some say he's alive, like the other astronauts. Some say.
I don't believe this.
So, but okay, maybe he was killed because he saw things that he should not be seeing. But I don't know. In any case, I just wanted to show that the flat Earth here is being noticed by the media, and so that's why also they released these photos to compensate for that, to reinforce the globe in the minds of people.
Yeah, I think that it's. I don't know if we should discuss it or not, but you showed the picture of Ilan Ramon, and this is kind of like a puzzling thing for Israelis. This whole the issue with the Columbia shuttle that was crashed into the atmosphere on the way back, from what we heard from the news, because it's kind of like for Israelis, it's kind of like weird. They're saying to themselves, okay, he was killed, he wasn't killed. In Israel, this guy is considered pretty much of a national hero. They named airports after him, and streets after him, and all kinds of like scientific facilities after him. After he died, and
the first Israeli in space.
The first Israeli in space, yes. And actually, I won't say like what I think about whether he died or not, or whether he was this Columbia mission real or not. I don't want to get into that, but I want to get into my personal feeling after this event. Okay, what I noticed is it happened in '99, I think. It was like 4 years.
2003.
Sorry? 2003. Sorry. It was like a couple of years after the Yitzhak Rabin assassination, and the feeling that I got is that after this Columbia disaster, people tried to commemorate his name as kind of like a real important persona and an image to go after the heritage. They're talking about the heritage of Ilan Ramon, okay? And heritage, it's kind of like a strong word, okay? They use this word to describe the heritage of Yitzhak Rabin, the peace heritage of him, whatever he left out after he got assassinated. But with this guy, Ilan Ramon, I couldn't understand what heritage they're talking about, okay? What kind of...
Well, this guy, he was... they're mostly relating to his military past. Where he was one of the pilots that bombed the Iraqi nuclear facility in '81, and he did other military operations that's what gained him the position to be the first astronaut that goes supposedly into space. But the strange thing about the whole Ilan Ramon story is that his whole family died.
Yeah.
His wife died, his son died in a mysterious plane, Air Force accident. And, this whole thing is really strange. And when I see videos of Ilan Ramon in a zero-G plane, and people think it's a space shuttle, but it's actually a zero-G plane when he's floating out there. It's, I don't know. I think the man himself was a good man.
Yeah.
I don't think he was a liar or something like that. But
how not?
That's my impression. Well, maybe I think my theory. It's just my own theory, and you can disagree. That's okay to disagree with me. I think that when he went up there, and NASA told him, okay, look, this is the situation. This is the reality, and this is what we are doing here, and you need to cooperate with us. And he kind of discovered things that he didn't know before. And
he was training 10 years before. He was training with them.
He was training.
It's not new. He knew what he was doing since the beginning. This is logic.
Well, he knew what he was doing, but I don't think that he got to the point, personally, that's my personal, I don't think he got to the point where he knew what he's supposedly not supposed to know.
What do you think, Marcus?
You're letting him out of his lying, and he is perpetrated by the government to be what he was, the first Israeli astronaut. They are not astronauts. They are astronauts. They are not astronauts. They are only actors. Yeah, and he was very symbolic because he was in the bombing the Iraqi nuclear place and all of this real stuff that he made, and he was very and that's how you say it. And then he signed with the devil, and then he's going to be an astronaut, and that's how it is, and that's how it goes, and that's the end of your life because they had an accident. That's my opinion. They had an accident in the way back. You know, the Challenger astronauts, they are alive today.
Yeah,
we all know that. So
sorry, I was
the mock-up. Let me explain to you. The mock-up back there was the accident. They died flying back to the computers, to our television. You know what I mean? That's the accident, and he died.
Yeah, but Marcus, I just want to correct myself. I was referring to Challenger, and this Ilan Ramon died in the Columbia disaster.
Yeah. But the Challenger are still alive.
Yeah. So because of
that's the problem, John.
Yeah. No. So what I'm trying to tell you here is because of that, because the Challenger, some of them are alive, maybe all of them are alive. What's the story with this one? I don't believe in accidents like that.
I told you. They came back and there was an accident. The coming back is going up in a Pacific island, with a mock-up of the space shuttle, and they come back to a Canaveral to come back to the television set. You know what I mean? So that's where the accident come. not from the going
It was-
up like the Challenger, not from the going up. The going up, no one was inside the mock-up going up. But going in, they have to put the crew inside a plane, and that's what they done, and that's where the accident occurred. That's what's happened.
You're saying,
well-
you're saying, Marcus, that that it wasn't like it was an accident. It was like it wasn't planned.
It's a real accident in the mock-up of the shuttle coming
Yeah.
back, because it's a mock-up.
Yeah.
It's not the real one.
Mm-hmm.
And then they had, Colombia was the first shuttle. It was the oldest one.
Yeah.
It should break one day,
Mm-hmm.
14 or 15 years after, or 20 years after. So that's what's happened.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a terrible and very sad accident, but it happened.
They say that all launches are actually a fake, because when they launch a shuttle, it actually lands in the sea somewhere in the.
That's what I told you.
Yeah. So
They come from the sea.
No. So if you're saying that the Columbia spacecraft was old, I don't know how old it was, because there were many of them.
1980.
But there were many of them that were used in different so-called.
Columbia was one.
Well, some say that there are more than one. That when they launched.
One. Of course, there are more than one. But the mock-up plane that comes back with an jet engines, when they come back, you saw the NASA pictures. When they come back, you hear the plane. It should be no jet engines without. It should be a glider coming down from space.
Right. Yeah. Well.
They got on a plane and they had an accident there. That's what's happened.
Okay.
Well, okay.
Guys, I think this segment will never be over with this discussion. This discussion can I don't know, provide us a whole show, I think.
I just want to say that for me it's still a mystery. I'm not sure whether it was a planned accident or a real accident. And I think that in the last message that he had from wherever he was to the Prime Minister, he was trying to communicate something. It looked to me like that. But anyway,
what he said?
Never mind. He said something about a Torah book that belongs to someone in the Weizmann Institute.
Ooh.
And so he was talking about this, and to me, it always sounded like a secret message that he's conveying to Ariel Sharon, who was Prime Minister back then. So I don't know. I really don't know. And then right after that, he died, and it was the crash. The crash happened. So I think maybe there's more to that, but we can discuss it in another show. And,
yeah, it's an endless topic, like all the flat Earth topics, I guess. All right, guys, I believe that we are getting close to the end of the show, and for me it was a great pleasure to discuss all of these topics with you guys. You were amazing as expected, and we're gonna continue on doing these shows. Me and John and Marcus, you'll probably tag along with in the rest of our shows. And besides that, we want to thank all the viewers. And next week, we're probably going to talk about very big hot potato, I think, John, right? What we're going to discuss about?
Yeah, before we talk about the hot potato, let's mention also that we have a YouTube channel also that people can subscribe to, and this video will be there.
And join our group in Facebook, of course.
Yeah, and the group in Facebook, of course, the group that I show right now, and of course you're welcome to join for flat earthers only, not for trolls, because I'm very strict with trolls, so don't test me. Yeah. So next week we're going to touch something, a subject that is very, very sensitive.
Taboo.
Across. Oh, yeah, and it's the fact that we are Israelis, and Israel was founded on the basis of the Zionist idea. What is Zionism? What's it's all about? And what's the story behind it? And how do we as Israelis look at it?
Yeah, I think that John, at least my getting involved with this whole story of Zionism and researching it was only like I think for me the last month or so, and it started off from this ODD movie that we saw, this clip that kind of like presents at the end the Israeli flag and kind of like blames everything, like the message that comes out of it that Israelis in general are blamed that I don't know, the troubles of the world and being indoctrinated and being lied and things like that. Now, I'm not gonna. I told myself that I'm not gonna argue with this statement that he made, but I'm gonna search it and research it. And what I got into in my research is that I got into a different view on Zionism from flat earther perspective and from Israeli perspective, okay, and try to, as I looked at flat Earth at the beginning, okay, and trying to trash all the information that I got from outside sources, I try to do the same when I'm looking at Zionism, and and try to look at it in a real way. And what I discovered was a real intriguing story, big time conspiracy thing happened over here. And I think that all of the viewers that are interested in that, I don't know, I believe that our viewers from abroad are looking at this and they have their own opinion about Israel and about Jewish people and about Zionism. And I do recommend you to watch the show that we're doing next because it's kind of like brings the whole perspective given from an Israelis, okay, that to give to give this the opinion that we're gonna give in the next show is gonna be kind of like I know, pretty weird for Israelis to say, but it's been made after a deep research on Zionism.
And like you said, it's a really hot potato. Patricia Spear was back on stuff. This is going to be the hot potato of the so we're keeping it for the next show, of course, and we were going to discuss it in the next show, and I'm looking forward to it. My own point of view, of course, we're going to have other points of views, and
Marcus, what do you got to say to our viewers for the end of the show? Did you enjoy having you here?
I enjoyed the show. There are lots of topics to bring out. The next one will be very hot. Very hot because all the world is listening and looking how we see the things and what's the difference between Jews and between Zionism. They are two separate things. And let's get there.
And the state of Israel. This is another third thing, right?
The state of Israel is a fact.
Yeah, it's a fact. Okay. All right, guys, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure, as expected, and I'm looking forward for our next shows here on ESH News. Have a nice evening, everyone, and hopefully we'll get awards out to the public, right?
Yeah, thanks, Nir. Thanks, it was fun.
Right. All right, bye, John. Bye, Marcus. Talk to you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.